Hello, I am Chris Williams from Read Comics They're Bad For You. Today, I'm going to start a bunch of reviews where I review something different. I'm going to start reviewing TV shows. And if you read the title of this video, you know I'm going to review Good Omens, the new David Tennant show with his co-host, Michael Sheen. David plays the demon Crowley, while Michael Sheen plays the angel Aziraphale. Now, both of them play off each other really well. The show begins in the Garden of Eden, where Crowley tempts mankind to eat the apple, thus throwing them out of the Garden of Eden. When he does that, he kind of makes a few snide comments to Aziraphale, who gave his flaming sword to Adam. And as they watch Adam and Eve cross the desert outside of Eden, they strike up a bit of a friendship. Now we fast forward to 11 years ago, where Crowley, despite thinking that this is not an honor, even though other demons say it's an honor, he has become the delivery man for the Antichrist. See, he's been given the baby who will grow into the Antichrist to give him to a bunch of nuns who are going to do a baby swap where they make the Antichrist the son of this American senator. But in doing so, they kind of screw it up, and the nuns end up giving the baby to this ordinary British family, while the American senator ends up raising the son of the British family. Now, Crowley has no idea what happened, nor his superiors or the angels in heaven. But what happens next is that the angel Aziraphale gets contacted by the archangel Gabriel, played by John Hamm. Gabriel tells Aziraphale to keep an eye on Crowley because he thinks Crowley will end up trying to influence the Antichrist to do great evil. Well, Aziraphale ends up being contracted by Crowley because Crowley is not happy that the Antichrist is going to bring about the apocalypse in 11 years, mainly because he likes Earth. So he calls Aziraphale. He wants to meet him. And they go out to a bar and they start talking about what's going to happen. Now, Crowley says something that when the world ends, all the fish in the sea and all the birds in the air will die. He doesn't want to see this because he really likes Earth. He likes to party and he likes to have a fun time. While Aziraphale is equally miserable because he likes the finer things in life. Good wine, good food, and also reading books from his little bookshop. Well, as they're drinking the night away, trying to get out of their misery of the world in about a little over a decade ending, they continue to drink, and they come up with some good humor here. I gotta tell you, whoever wrote this thing, wrote the script for this episode, was really on point, because it was funny dialogue watching David Tennant mention how after the world ends, they'd have to deal with eternity, him going to hell, and Aziraphale most likely singing in a choir for the rest of eternity. No reading, no food, just singing. The next day, they go to a park, and that's when it dawns on them. Well, it dawns on Crowley. He mentions to Aziraphale, since he's an angel of God, that he could just kill the Antichrist. Aziraphale just outright just says, "No, I'm not killing a child. I don't care if it is the Antichrist." But then they both come up with an idea. Well, Crowley mentions, well, you might not kill the Antichrist, but you could most likely stop him. Why don't you try influencing him? Influencing him to be good. See, I'm going to be forced to influence him to be evil because that's my job. But why don't you do the opposite? So over the next 11 years, they go to the senator's son and they try to influence him to be good or evil. Now, this is where it doesn't really make much sense. You know, if Crowley's against the apocalypse, he could just influence the Antichrist to do dumb, evil things. So he'd just constantly screw up and be defeated. But he probably, Aziraphale does his best to make sure the Antichrist knows about empathy and human emotions. Now, it's kind of funny what they do with this part, with cross-dressing David Tennant and Michael Sheen and a bunch of different disguises. It's really quite funny. Now, 11 years pass, and the hordes of hell, they got the Antichrist's own personal hellhound ready to go out and meet him. See, what's going to happen is when this dog is released, this demonic beast, it's a big giant black dog actually. Well, it's more kind of black and white. When it's released, he'll go and find the Antichrist, and when the Antichrist names him, the Antichrist would come fully into his power. And they can't wait to release it. Well, after this bit, Crowley and Aziraphale, they go to see each goes to see their own boss, their superiors in heaven or hell. Crowley meets with a couple of demons, and he has to smooze them and make them believe he's actually trying to do his job and make the Antichrist to be evil. While Aziraphale mentions to the Archangel Gabriel and his cohorts that he's doing a great job and that he thinks he's going to make the Antichrist become good. Of course, Gabriel says, you do realize you're just destined to fail, right? Because the Antichrist is the Antichrist. He's destined to become an evil destroyer of worlds. Aziraphale just once again looks kind of sad and resigned, but he's not going to give up. He's going to try and do his best to save the earth. So, the date comes, and it's the birthday for the Antichrist, and they go, and Aziraphale basically puts on a magician's disguise. Apparently, it's a well-known joke between Aziraphale and Crowley that Aziraphale likes to do fake human magic like a magician, doing cheap tricks at parties, but he's really terrible of it. And Crowley says, why waste your time with this? You can actually do real magic. Well, and this is maybe the real creepy part, Aziraphale insists on dressing like a creepy magician guy. That might be the scariest thing that was ever done in this show, in this whole episode, honestly. But it's really quite funny. But guess what happens? They find out the Antichrist is not the Antichrist because the dog doesn't go to them. It turns out the real Antichrist is the son of the Young family, Adam Young, because one of the nuns mentions Adam as a name. And you can see Adam and his friends as they pal around in the woods. His father and mother wonder where he is, but his mother says to him he's most likely playing with his friends, while his father was wondering where his son is so they could go to their birthday party. And Adam and his friends, they're partying and like that and playing like pretend. And Adam says what he wants for his birthday is a dog. Now the hellhound has found him. And it turns out as Adam says what kind of dog he wants. Well, and what to name it, after his friends ask him about it. Well, he doesn't really think too much broadly about it. He says, I'll just call him Dog. Why come up with any kind of dog? He'll be a nice little dog who will be friendly and nice. And that is the key word here. The Antichrist goes fully into his power, the ability to warp entire worlds. And the hellhound goes from this monstrous creature to a cute little puppy. And named Dog, and he rushes into Adam's arms. Now, unlike the picture here, Aziraphale and Crowley are rather worried about what will happen next. So, they get down to try and searching for the Antichrist. But they have no idea what to do. You know, that's kind of funny considering both of them are mystical beings of great power. They should easily be able to find the Antichrist, especially now that he's fully come into his power. And this is how the episode ends. It's really good. I really enjoy this show. And I say to you, you should check it out. It's on Amazon.com on their streaming service. Now, if you like this review, subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed. If you're watching my videos but you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And remember, I want you to hit that bell so you get notifications for my future videos. And hit that like button and leave some comments down below. Now, keep checking back in future videos for my own upcoming independent comic book, Scumdogs. Now, I won't say anything else. It'll just be a good, solid comic to read and enjoy. I'm Chris Williams, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another review.